All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming in to the February meeting of the Pittsburgh Village Planning and Zoning Board. Tonight we have one application before us. I'd also like to welcome anybody who is online. And you'll be able to participate just by indicating and our secretary Alexandria will recognize you.
Either a Q&A question or a hand raise would be helpful.
Thank you. Okay. So I'd like to start out by asking fellow board members if there is any, oh, I'll open it first. So I would like to get this meeting underway, so I move to open the meeting tonight. Is there a second?
Yeah. I'll take member Shannon second. Member Vanderswag? Aye. Member Loda?
Aye.
Member Powers?
Aye.
Member Shannon?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll proceed to, like to ask the board members if there is any conflict of interest with tonight's application. I do not have a conflict.
I do not.
I do not. I do not.
Okay. So then I think we can proceed. We have this one application that is requesting a parking variance. And if the applicant is in the room, would you like to? Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I'd like you to come join us up here and kind of walk us through your application and your request.
Well, I have the space and, the Chandelier Boutique was there. And as soon as she moved out, I was immediately approached by 3 different salons. And I was thinking, I just thought that, there could be, I've been in the bar business. I actually went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. I've been in the bar restaurant business my whole life. I recently got out of it, but this is just such a perfect location. And I found the perfect partner in Gourmet Pizza, who's here. And he came up with a really nice menu, and I just think it's a perfect fit. There's probably going to be, I would say, 75% food, 25% bar. We're really going to focus, on the lunches and dinners, and we just think it's a perfect fit for the area.
I mean, 25, 75, according to.
Just my figures of what I think we can do there, and I just think it's more of a restaurant part because we're going to be doing to go and obviously sit down and all that. And we're going to try to really focus on the food. We got the right guy here. 11-year chef at the Oak Hill.
Good evening. How are you today? Just want to introduce myself and talk a little bit about my background and kind of what the vision is of the restaurant. My name is Chris Raw, and I was most recently the executive chef, food and beverage director at Oak Hill Culture Club for years. And since leaving Oak Hill, I have opened up 2 successful restaurants. One in Park Ave area in downtown Rochester, and the second one in the city of Canandaigua. And although my family and I do not live in Pittsburgh, the village of Pittsburgh, we do come here very often. We like to do bike rides on the canal and visit the shops frequently. My son loves the yogurt spot right there, so we try to get him some yogurt all the time. So we're always down here. And when I had the opportunity to meet Mike to form a partnership, the location felt right. It felt like a great location and a great partnership and a great gentleman in Mike. The concept of the restaurant is based around a wood fire oven. We do pizzas, wood fire pizzas as the main item, but with the chef background that I have, we can just stop there. We get creative on the menu, and we like to utilize me and my team like to utilize the canvas of the pizza dough as a canvas to explore and create new flavors. So we get really creative with the flavor profiles and uniqueness of that. one of our biggest focuses local ingredients. And we have a very big focus on craft and care of the product and delivering a great experience overall. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening.
Mhm. When I looked at your application, I saw a proposal for 44 seats, plus extensive bar area. When I count up all the bar area and some more seats, it seems like it's more than 44, can that be?
Well,
Yeah, so my name is Jeff Ledoux. I'm with Tech on Form 2.
Mhm.
So, some of what had been, I guess, in terms of the numbers, what we were sort of, I guess, the requirement number, had conversation was later, after the application was submitted, and I had some discussion about what the numbers were and sort of what the drivers, what those numbers were. So the total number. So in terms of what you're asking, it's
Right.
60 seats.
60 non-bar seats.
That's correct.
Okay.
And some of those seats there are seats in that count that really are the back area where more than likely it's just sort of waiting or grab and go. But that back area is accounted for in that count, so it goes from front to back. So you'll see that there's like a table for 4 by the counter, the service counter and the kitchen in the back.
Are you referring to the section that is accessible from Monroe Avenue?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
So that number
Yeah.
is inclusive of all that. And so when we took that 60 for the seated number, divided by that by 4, then we end up with 15 parking spaces for those seated spots. The footnote 1 of the table for that's directly addresses the bar seating area. That area on our part was incorrectly noted as the 1 foot per linear foot, or it's 13 square feet per area from the bar to the table. Because we had seated area, we used the 1 foot in the calculation in the letter, not basically the 13 square feet. So if you take the area from the bar to the table, that's 120 square feet divided by 13, so that's an additional 10 on top of the 15 parking spaces.
I'm gonna ask Steve to help with this math, because it also could go, isn't it the greater for what the linear measure of the bar?
The way I read the code, read that code in that section, it takes a greater number from the chart above. And then it gives you the option down below of 1 per linear foot of bar space,
Right.
or 1 per 13 square foot of free space beyond the bar. So he has a choice of either calculation of that little piece. You can't adjust the chart above, you have to always take a greater number there, but down below, the way I read it is you have a choice of, which to me makes sense, because every 1 foot of bar for a parking space is kind of,
Right.
you're not fitting a person in 1 foot of linear foot of bar space. It's just, so the 13 square foot of space, or divided the free space by 13 foot to me is a fair and the way I read the code.
Okay, so you would be in agreement with that calculation, and that again ended up with,
So the one thing that's not, so that's 15, so right now I'm just doing seating, so that's 15. We did 15, 10, put us at 25, then you have to take into account staff.
Right,
So we added 7 peak staff. So we end up with a number at 32
Mhm.
parking spaces. We take the public within 1,000 feet, you're allowed the 20%. So we take 6, we did the 6 point whatever, but we then reduce it to a full 6. Which puts that number, and then also you get credit for the 10 previously approved, so it's 32 minus 16, so the delta is 16.
Which 10 previously approved?
The shop itself was previously approved for 10, had 10 parking spaces, and there's a section in the code that
Huh.
previously granted space, whatever their available parking was
Right.
allotted to them gets to be deducted from what was
Yeah.
the number we're talking about. So
Hmm.
that puts us at a delta of 16 parking spaces. Sorry, I mean, truthfully, like, if it wasn't for the conversation I had with Steve,
Right,
you know, like, I was at a much larger number, totally, I misread. I did not add the 2, I was, doing the linear foot, and then the linear foot didn't make any sense to me. Because you can't put a person in 1 foot at a bar, especially when, I mean, I could understand. If it was a club where it's truly a bar and it doesn't, and the intent isn't for the dining experience, where you have a bar stool.
Mhm.
And then also figuring that, well, the tables, you get 4 chairs at a table, you only need 1, but for some reason at a bar, you need 1 for every stool, which, I mean, there's logic to it because it's part of the zoning code, but. So I was doing the heavy of everything, and then talking with Steve, I was able to at least hone it in on the true number, so I apologize. For
right,
not providing it properly,
Right.
but I wanted to make sure that at least the numbers were correct, because it's not, obviously, we're not at 0. But
Mhm.
it's the true number based on what we're looking at right now, I guess, in terms of the seating and the bar length.
So I'm just wondering where, still, I'm stuck on where the 10 space credit has come from. It's always been,
No,
pardon?
no required parking, right, for businesses in the TDD. I know where you're looking at it, but I didn't think there was any required parking spaces for businesses in the central business district anymore. 10 might have been before.
But even, what?
If they ask what section of the code
Oh,
to
yeah.
refer to,
Yeah, I got it.
that might be a good
I'm
start.
sorry, yeah.
Okay,
Trying to copy this.
do you know? Do you know where this credit?
Oh, the seating credit?
Yeah, The 10 space credit?
Specific space is altered or use is changed, that you can use from the previous use, which is by square foot. It takes it 1,000, it's 1,000 square feet for 3 spaces. And the space itself is 3,600 square feet, so we give a credit from the previous use of 10.5 spaces for what was there. That big?
What section is that?
I actually said to it's 23.
10, 25.
5.2 F2.
Yeah, F2 is what I was reading. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
So, am I wrong, Steve, on that, or
Which,
that there are no required parking spaces for businesses in the village central business district?
no, we still, by the code, there's still by use, there's required parking spaces per use.
okay. So the numbers are much different than
Yes,
what is indicated on our application.
Right, so certainly apologize for that,
Mhm.
you know, and
So we're
I
not,
guess and I'm not gonna read all the other stuff, but I think a couple things just, I mean, the hard part is when we come before a board in the village, that certainly understands parking, and that parking is always an issue, so it's hard to sit here and try to speak to the board about something that we're not the first persons or probably the first application in which you've had to address the fact that the village is what it is. It has there's an intent to the planning of the village to be a certain way, and that the idea is that parking is sort of a shared experience, whether it's on street, whether it's parking lots, public lots, and I was just commenting to Steve that Village of Pittsburgh, of all villages, of all the places where I've had to do presentations about parking, certainly Pittsburgh Village has done an immense job of providing a ton of public parking so that buildings that exist
Mhm.
within the village can you can have a varied experience of use and what that's about. So
Right.
I don't want us or me to sit here and try to make rationales that probably have already been made about, you know, certain number of, you know, you've got on street, you got this, you got that. We all know that. I think in terms of what we're trying to present is that the use is intended to be a high-end experience use with certainly Michael has got multiple projects or multiple properties within the village
Mhm.
and has been very diligent about how he's improved them. He has a stake in it. He has a stake in this project as well, and he's partnered with certainly someone with the experience to bring it to that end. And I think the idea is that while within the scheme of the needed parking, we're talking 12 parking spaces to make what's needed, and believe that over certainly the area of the village, even if it's someone coming from a partner business that's who comes and you get that sort of activity. I think the idea is that think that number is, I guess, achievable within what's available within the village for what they're trying to do. Because again, you know, like the choice to go there, the success is going to be that people will come. So it's the idea.
Right.
You're not trying to create an insurmountable amount. And, you know, in terms of the notion that the bar becomes a product of the calculation, could certainly understand that. But we also need to appreciate the fact that dining today is not just at a table. That couples will go in and sit at a bar and have dinner. It's not, the idea is that it's a very experienced proceeding or the experience that Chris is trying to create. So, you know, so I think that it's not intended to be like I don't know, a bar, like I mean, you want it to be popular, but the idea is that it's a food for a restaurant idea. So anyways, stop.
Susan, is it okay if I just ask for some clarification of
Please.
the applicant? Okay, so I'm Mindy Zoglin, I don't get to vote on this, I'm just the attorney here. But it seems like what you're proposing tonight is a little different from what's in the formal application. So I just want to make sure that when the board acts, it's acting on what you're really asking for.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
yeah, so what you asked for initially was 19 spaces based on 52 seats. Plus 40 spaces based on the bar. And the greater of those two were 40. But now we're talking about 60 seats, not 52 for the restaurant. And that number has changed from 19 spaces to 15 spaces.
Well, no, actually, that number went up because in the 19, that also includes employees.
Okay, got it.
So
Okay.
it's 15 plus 7, so that number actually went up.
Okay, got it. So it went from it's now 22 instead of
That's right.
19,
Mhm.
got it. And the bar length calculation
Yes.
was
Incorrect.
based on an incorrect reading of the of the code, so you're now seeking second, where's that number?
10.
10
10, that's
for the length of the bar.
yes.
And there's some question about whether you get some type of credit under
Same section, I think.
Yeah.
maybe.
1025
Right.
to F2.
Right,
And let me just, because I had not looked at that before, but to me, it looks like it says that in the event that a space devoted to a use existing at the time of this chapter is expanded, or if the existing use is altered, which you're doing now, you're altering it, ... Then the number of additional required off-street parking spaces shall be equal to the total number of parking required by this chapter for the entire expanded or altered use, which is what you're asking
Right.
for,
Mhm.
less the amount of off-street parking spaces currently provided by the pre-existing use. So you're saying there's 10
That's what we.
that currently provided, and
Yes.
you're proposing to get rid of all those 10? Because you're asking for a zero parking?
No, I'm
Okay,
saying
so-
that 10 just reduces the numbers, like,
So we're
in
at,
So
terms of,
the
like,
ask of the variant.
yeah,
that's
the add to
coming.
the variant reduces it by 10.
Okay, so there's 10 currently, you
Yes.
intend to keep
Right.
those 10?
Yes, we're gonna
Okay,
keep that, with that number.
The credit.
The
for those.
credit.
Right.
Yes.
so when all is said and done, how many parking
16.
spaces are you proposing for on site?
Well, the deficient,
I get-
what I would say, the variance or the deficiency is 16.
how,
I get, I don't get that either.
I get
that's-
22.
I get 22.
Right, so I think we need to have some understanding about
So-
what you're proposing and how it's
Well, the
different from
thing
what's
that you're not, you
required.
also have to include is that you get 20%
Right,
credit for the public lot within 1,000 feet.
right,
Okay,
So
Oh, okay.
that's where the 22 minus
Right.
6 gets us to 16.
right.
We're doing, it's 6.3, but.
Okay.
It's
Right.
for
Right,
parking, public parking within 1,000 feet.
You get 20%.
Right.
And that number is, just bear with me for a
6.
second, equals 6.
right,
So the
So-
22 is right, it just doesn't take into account the 6, the credit of 6.
Right.
Okay. So.
Just gets us to
Just to get to the very end here.
right.
How many on-site parking spaces, by your calculation, are required under the code?
On site?
On-site,
With no credit.
15,
how many-
22,
No
it's,
credits, how many?
Yeah.
spaces?
no,
It's 32.
credit.
No, with credits.
well,
With credit.
like, without credits, it's 32,
No,
Mhm.
with credits,
with credits,
if
it's
you,
16,
okay, so you're saying that 16 parking spaces are required
that's correct,
under the code,
yes.
okay, and how many parking spaces are you proposing to have on site?
There's no.
Requirements.
The building has no, it's right in the corner, there's no on site.
But that's why I'm confused, I thought you said that there were 10 on site.
Yeah, that's why I was where are the 10?
No,
So where are they?
the building, as I know it, was previously for its use, approved use. Was allotted, when it was approved, there were 10 spaces. Whether they were on street, whether they were public, whether they, like, the use was approved for 10.
Right, but I'm sorry,
No,
the
that's-
code says that you get a credit for the amount of off-street parking spaces currently provided by the pre-existing.
So the
use.
assumption is that
How many are currently provided by the pre-existing use?
we were told it was 10. Across public lot, on street, just what, because the building has no on-site parking available.
But that's.
So previously, the previous, I think, needed 10. And they were approved as like having no, they were approved basically having none. They were approved when they needed
Yeah,
10.
that I don't,
But Mindy, you're saying that the code says off. street.
Off-street parking spaces currently provided by the pre-existing use. So I think what I hear you saying is that 10 were required.
Mhm.
But they weren't on site, so they must have been off-site.
That's correct.
So those 10 were the off-street parking spaces that were currently provided by the pre-existing use,
That's,
right?
That's the way I read it.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm following it now.
So technically, in bottom line, I think they're asking for a variance of 16 spaces.
that's correct.
Yeah,
Yep, now I understand it.
right.
Thank you for indulging.
No,
in this.
thank you. Thank you.
No, it's confusing, the numbers are confusing.
Right, and it's quite, we had to kind of, thank you for helping us get from the application to what you really are asking. So that's good.
So at the end of the day, you're asking for a variance from 16 parking spaces to 0 parking spaces because there are no on-site parking spaces.
That's correct.
I'll stop interrupting. you.
No. that's-
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still a bit, I feel like you're taking like the 20% credit and like, can they take full credit? It's like the 10 is like a credit,
Yeah, those are
basically.
different.
They are different?
Yeah, because the 20% is how, if you're
Yeah,
within 1,000
yeah.
feet of a municipal lot, they actually are within 1,000 feet of 3. So 2, the library and the bank became available as parking lots after this code. So I was hoping for a 60% credit, but or just interested in it, but it's capped at 20.
Set it a maximum of 20%.
Right. But
Alright.
so, right,
Yeah, I'm
you
still
see-
confused by getting the 10 credit for the existing because they really don't have 10. So it seems like you would need like 26 still. It seems like you're asking for a variance for 16. It seems like they asked for a variance for 10, to be honest with you, right? And so it seems like actually the variance is for 26 overall. You're just kind of like taking their variance as well. And is that okay? That's where I'm a little confused.
That-
yeah, you
That's not the
inherit,
way I read the code, it's not the way I read the code.
Okay,
That's the way I looked at it, is they should gain credit for what was previously there.
okay,
You know what I mean, because the business did exist.
Correct.
And it functioned
correct.
based on their need.
Correct, I'm just saying, because I just it gets a little bit confused for me.
right.
I understand, but they didn't, there really wasn't any, so it seems like.
Well, it's,
Right,
so
but
when
variance
you,
of
Yeah.
those 10 or was
Right.
it, I mean, I'm confused too, I guess.
so 10 you inherit.
Yeah.
With the.
It wasn't
with the-
inherited
with the-
because they had a variance for
Yes.
10?
Yeah, it seems like, yes.
Right,
They had a variance.
No, we're just
Why-
saying
why-
this,
why-
we don't know.
I don't understand.
You just need 16 more.
Like, they have no streets, so they must have gotten a variance for 10.
Did they?
I don't know.
That's what
Well, I
I'm trying to
think we should-
understand too.
What year was that? Do you remember?
Can you pull the property file? I mean, that's
A big
important
deal.
to know.
I cannot pull the property file without the archivist here, because those records are within her bank and department, but it will, unless this is a continued meeting, can't do it right now, though.
yeah, so we need some evidence that a variance had been granted with those 10. Right. And, right,
Unless you don't want to get. the-
unless you
Well,
want the
right.
10.
If you're reading it, you're reading it that it was okay? That the 10, because it had to have been a variance, because there is no parking, right?
We have that again, the building, it existed as a commercial
Correct.
function, that commercial function was allotted, or should have.
Should have had,
3 spaces for every 1,000 square feet. So there's 3,600 square feet in there, they should have had or approved or they were functioning based on having 10.5
Mhm.
parking
Okay.
spaces somewhere
Correct,
in the cloud.
And so
correct,
the
correct.
question is just how is that documented? As a,
It's not right, in
as
fact,
a,
that it's in the code, period. It's in the code. So every use, I mean, if you wanna go through every use in the village, I mean,
No, I understand. So it's 16 additional. This is what you're saying. Yes, okay. So there were 10, they were parking in the lots wherever on the street.
10, right?
So now they need 16 more. Yes.
Based on the assumption
Okay.
that they had the use of 10.5 spaces.
Correct. Okay, somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not sure you,
Right.
you need to go there because it says. Less the amount of off-street parking spaces currently provided by the pre-existing use. It
No,
doesn't say
okay.
permitted, it doesn't say authorized, it says
Okay.
currently provided, and that number's
Okay, so it's,
10.
so the code provided it.
Right,
Okay, it's coded.
All right, so you need 16 additional.
Right.
All right,
okay,
Do we
we're
still
back to
need
16.
anything from the property file for the record?
No, I'm good.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, guys, what about you guys?
Fine.
Right.
yeah, there's no way they didn't get a variance because there's no parking. Like there's no parking. Okay. All right, so 16 spots.
Mhm.
And you have your special use permit already?
Mhm.
You're not getting a special use permit until the variance is
Oh,
processed.
okay, I wasn't sure which way it went.
So the next person to take over the property can assume if this gets approved, 26 spots. Is that what it will turn into in the future?
If this is approved
If this is
for
approved.
a zero parking, to allow zero
Right.
parking spaces for use, then that will run with the land and
Mhm.
anybody who
Comes
uses the property next
thereafter will have,
will
Right.
claim
be exempt
that
from
number.
any parking requirement.
Up to 26.
up to 26.
Or
Are you saying-
what they would ask for?
Well,
They could
they're
ask for
allotted
another-
26.
They
If
would be
this is
allotted
approved,
to.
they would,
Right.
the next use of the property could assume 26.
Could start there,
Mhm.
right?
So that's the implication. Yep.
Let that.
Everyone's looking at you.
Right.
So she's still
Do
working.
you want them to go through the factors, maybe? For the board's benefit, or are you satisfied with the written submission?
No, because it was great, so please, yeah, let's go through your.
Are we still okay with this discussion in the public hearing not being open yet?
Yes,
Okay, just making sure.
We're still trying to
yeah,
get our
Right.
arms around the application.
right, right. So,
Are you opposed to me just reading through what I provided?
yeah, or, just,
Yeah.
Because,
reviewing those, yeah, it's part of the application.
so, I mean, it's not long.
No,
No.
Yeah, I get it.
So, undesirable change in overall character, the requested relief will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood and will facilitate positive reuse that enhances the village atmosphere, the immediate vicinity is the historic Pittsburgh Four Corners commercial area characterized by closely spaced storefronts, restaurants, boutiques, and civic buildings, all in pedestrian friendly configuration. The physical appearance of the property will remain that of a traditional Main Street building, maintaining the current architectural integrity, scale, historic character.
I know,
As intended by the TDD overlay district. The variance if granted simply allows the status quo character of the village to continue. Patrons will park in public areas as they always have and stroll along Main Street. The zoning code objectives for the VCB district especially include continued utilization, preservation, and restoration of historic structures and maintaining economic vitality by addressing parking and traffic in a way that does not erode the village character. Granting this variance supports those objectives. It allows the owner to utilize and invest in a historic property without forcing parking solution that will undermine the area's character or importance preservation. Feasibility alternatives, there's no feasible alternative to providing on-street parking. The parcel is fully occupied by the existing building and configured as a zero lot line Main Street condition. Acquisition of additional land for parking is not practical in this location, and construction of new parking areas would require substantial demolition and would conflict with the traditional downtown design intent for a walkable storefront oriented core. The boat program is already modest and includes no FOC. Substantiality of the variance. The relief is substantial in numerical terms because the site has no on-street parking. However, the effect is consistent with the long-standing parking pattern for Main Street uses in the village center, served primarily by shared on-street and municipal parking. The applicant requests the minimum relief necessary to enable a reasonable use of the building while maintaining the existing village form and avoiding new impervious surfaces.
Did you want to amend that wording that it was substantial since it has been reduced, or do you still want to stick with that?
Well, I think in either case, I mean,
Yeah,
it would be hard to note it as minimum. I mean,
16.
I mean, 16,
Feels-
I think fairly is,
okay.
I think,
Yeah, just-
I could wordplay it both.
Yep.
I think the content still speaks true to
Mhm.
that time. Adverse physical or environmental effects. The requested relief will not create adverse physical or environmental impacts. The project proposes no expansion, no new pavement, and no new curb cuts, relying on existing public parking resources. Avoids creation of additional impervious surfaces and associated stormwater impacts. And deliveries will be managed off-peak and via existing service access to avoid traffic obstructions. And then the self-created hardship.
Mhm.
While the need for relief arises in connection with a change in tenant use, the underlying condition, an historic Main Street building with no on-site parking is not self-created and predates modern parking requirements. This is an inherent site constraint common to village center storefronts.
Mhm.
So hopefully,
Where's the service access? Is there?
the
Yeah,
section
okay.
would be like, it would be probably.
It would be on Monroe?
I don't know.
Like deliveries would come on Monroe then?
Yeah.
There is half-hour parking there.
Right there, right by the side door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he? Yeah, I know, yeah.
You don't even realize
Right.
it.
No,
That's it.
right.
Because if one parks there.
No one
No one
dares
cares.
to park.
Cause you'll
there.
get hit.
Right. Right, but
Do you
there
know
is
how many spots there are in the municipal lot? In the back?
43. I think.
And
I think that's the new one across.
the breathe lot,
Oh,
the
yeah.
front.
That's why I said like, yeah,
The
behind,
bank lot, the fire.
so there's the bank lot, that's 43, you say?
There's breathe.
What about the, yes, like the town hall lot,
Breathe lot,
yes.
right.
There's a lot of spots, I don't know many.
And there's a library.
And you had that paper.
And the library,
Right.
okay. I'm just wondering, like, like
Yeah.
how, like, cause
Right.
to disseminate 16, like,
Right. So when
So it's not counted.
there has been, in 2002, there was a parking survey that came up with 366 spots. Not counting the that was prior to the library and the Bank of America.
so like on street and.
Right.
and
I don't think
I mean-
Linda had seen that one because she got locked out of her email, but
Oh.
DPW just submitted an inventory and I shared it with the board.
Could you also,
Yeah.
could you
Here's
post that to the website?
Here's
That's
360.
that's on street. Street side, this is.
The other
parking
side
lot.
is the parking lot.
Oh, so this is So this is
But
parking
see, it's
spots
not-
on the street,
This is parking spots on the street and
Right.
this one,
right?
they're not counting Verdettes and they're not counting,
I know, so there's a lot more
Right.
parking than, that's my point.
but why are they not?
Well, I guess is this
Because the
table
town,
accurate,
the
yeah.
town maintains Verdettes, is that?
They're counting, all of the areas of parking that have regulation because it's,
Village.
yeah.
So
because
it could
it's-
be ticketed parking
Yeah,
spots.
exactly.
Right.
So available spaces that we monitor.
Okay,
And those, like you're mentioning for the board, are in private, so by the town and then Breathe, and then the municipality lot is owned by the fire department.
Excuse me, Alexandra, could you just describe for the record what it is that people are looking at? Because the copy that I have is untitled, so I don't know what it is or where.
Yeah, this is an internal document that the board asked to see, so I will make sure that it's branded and correctly, for the public after the meeting as a handout. And
So
so
what is it and where did it come from?
our Department of
I-
Public Works
Does that work?
conducted,
But I'm in.
parking inventory
Yeah.
throughout the whole village, which is basically allocated. If you go to our main website, there is a village parking map. So every street on there that designates parking is how they conducted the inventory. They counted parking on those streets.
But done recently.
Yes,
So that's every striped space.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when did they complete this?
Oh, they did this. Thank you for bearing with me. 1/26/2026.
oh, wow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
How did they get 57?
So any questions about it? Again, like I said, this is an internal document, that the trustees were working, with their workshop, so I will make sure it's posted appropriately for the public.
Right, because if the board is gonna
Right.
consider it in
Yeah.
connection with the application, it needs to be made public.
Okay.
The length of Sutherland, both sides,
No,
It's not, you can't park on both sides.
only
the
the
length of Sutherland.
length of Sutherland.
Okay. So anyway, 366 plus lots. Plus parking lot spaces. Comes up to some number. This
Yeah,
doesn't,
but this is not counted, the library is not counted and what they're saying is Burdett's, which is the,
right,
so there's 43
Right.
at the Firehouse Bank. And then it's not counted the other two lots that we're considering, basically.
do you know why those lots weren't,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
why the old Burdett's lot and the
They're not-
library parking lot weren't,
They're not regulated by the village.
They're actually not owned by village.
but it's available parking.
It
Yes,
says
but
it's
if there
town.
are parking inventory, we didn't, yeah, it's not owned, this is village owned parking, so
The 366 is village owned.
yes.
But there's village parking availability that goes beyond what's village owned.
Sure, the intent of this document isn't to survey every single parking availability in the village with. It was, again, an internal document that they're discussing where we regulate parking. So I don't know,
Okay, that's
why
different.
that wasn't included, but there is
Okay.
data that is. It was specific to what we were looking for.
Right, no, and we have referenced this 366 in a prior variance. Mhm. Any other questions or comments from the board? Mindy?
No, I think that, I think the board has a good understanding of what the application is now. And,
Yeah.
you know, you have your arms around it, maybe
Yeah.
it's time to open the
Open
public
up the
hearing
public
and,
hearing, right?
see what people have to say.
Yeah, so I move to open up the public hearing Someone second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Member Shannon,
I,
member Powers,
Aye.
member Van der Zwan,
Aye.
member Loda,
Aye.
motion passes. It may be helpful to take from the audience first here, because we do have a handful of people online, which may take a little bit longer.
Oh, okay, is there someone here who would like to comment on this application tonight? If you would address the board and give your name and address.
Yeah, my name's Larry Weiss. I'm the manager of 19 South Main Street.
I'm sorry, Larry, it just, you're as close as you can.
You wanna come to the podium?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
I'm Larry Weiss, I'm the managing partner, 19 South Main Street, which owns the old Burdette building as well as 23 South Main Street and the parking lot in the back. And the parking lot is on a short-term lease to the village. And we've been, we've had that for a number of years, and this is the first time I've ever come to a zoning board meeting related to parking, because we really haven't had issues until a couple of years ago. But with these variances that are happening, we've got now Fatouche, which has no parking. We've got the noodle place across the street, which has their own dedicated parking, but it's not a big lot. We've got Utility. There's, Kitty Corner is Thirsties, and when you look at the size of that place, and then the municipal lot that is by the library, I don't know if you've ever gone there in the daytime, but you can't park in there. I mean, it's very, very, that parking lot is completely consumed, as are all the places on South Main Street. So the only viable parking is the new bank place, which would require you to cross Monroe, which people don't really like to do. And then there's the lot behind 19 South Main Street, which is completely full now because there's no longer any enforcement of the 2-hour limit that went away during COVID, I think. And so people park there all day long. And the applicant even says, their bulk of their business will be in the evening when offices are closed and things like that. So they're really, that whole need for parking goes away. That shouldn't even come into play, because people that work full-time shouldn't be parking there. This whole parking 366 spaces that you're talking about are the spaces on Lincoln Avenue, up by Sutherland, all the way down by Rand Place. I mean, which no one who is coming to the village to go to the stores or eat no one's parking there.
Correct.
Everybody's parking right dead center, which means they're pretty much parking in the old Burdette lot. So
If they can.
if they
But-
can.
so
So anyway, but the point is, we're don't include that lot in your variance calculation, because we're gonna terminate that lease. And if we don't terminate it, we're certainly not going to renew it, because we can't. Fatouche, the people who work there park all day long in the lot. The town people park all day long in the lot. And it's not up to me to enforce this. I'm not gonna get into daily arguments with people about the lot, because it is at present a public lot, but it isn't going to be that. And I will enforce it after this, but the point is, don't include that in your calculations. And I'm only trying to be fair to you, because you're gonna spend presumably hundreds of thousands of dollars to build this place out. And as you point out, you have 0 parking. And you're not gonna have 60 to 70 spaces in that lot to consume. So I just want to be fair here and transparent. We've been good neighbors for 20, going on 25 years, but this whole zero sum, this adding up of, well, we already were approved for this, we'll take this out of here, and we do really need 40 spaces, but when we do the math, we come down to 16 for the variance. That's not That's not true. I mean, that might be how you work the numbers. But that's not reality of what we're talking about here. We're talking about 40 spaces.
Mhm.
And it's just not gonna support that. So I just want to be really transparent of, what before you make a decision, make sure you know what you're making a decision on. Okay, that's all I.
Yes, no, thank you.
This isn't personal, it's the reality of the situation.
Excuse me, we do confine the comments that. And any speakers to be speaking directly to the board. So if we can just remind everyone that. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I'm Stella Jones, 1 North Main Street, Stella's Bridal. I just wanted to continue, honestly, I'm so sorry, say your name again?
Larry.
Larry, I just wanted to, be transparent and kind of advocate for Larry's point as well. The Bank of America parking lot, the first section in front, it's actually owned by the fire department, it's to my knowledge, and then it's the, renovated parking lot that Bank of America, that we all know as the Bank of America parking lot. And for my business, in that section, there's, my business, there's Soho Salon, there's also another tailor that is also very busy. But people forget there's also tenants upstairs. So I can assure you already that that lot is very well used. And, my employees are already having to, often use the, library public parking lot and then walk and then cross the street just as an employee. Let alone the customers that are, distributed, as well as the tenants, as well as the fire department, for who works there as well. So it is a very, I can assure you and advocate for Larry as well, to be fully transparent. It is at max use, I would say every day of the week, especially once we go into high season. And, there's much more foot traffic in the summer and spring months. So I just wanted to make a point of that as well, that it is also, used at max capacity.
Thank you very much.
See, those are our customers. All those people park there, that's who we want. We want. them.
Wait, but this is the public comment.
And so on.
I have to listen to those comments. Yeah.
If there's.
Is that it,
any-
everyone?
yeah.
Yes, okay. Peggy, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep, just speak up a little bit louder.
Okay. Can you hear me now? I have a couple of questions. First of all,
Would you identify
oh, I'm
yourself?
sorry, Peggy Caraberas, 81 South Main Street. I'm also president of Historic Pittsford, which has the little house kind of across the street from the applicant's location, which is why I'm here today, because I'm a neighbor. I have a couple of questions related to process. I'm a little concerned that the Board of Trustees hasn't reviewed this application yet. It seems to me that they may have some suggestions for the planning board in terms of intensity of use of that block. And I don't know if it's legal for them to have that opinion, but it seems to me that it should have gone to them first. The other thing is that I think Joanne Shannon is correct that the block that we're talking about is exempt from parking because it's in the traditional historic district. And traditionally, there hasn't been, lately anyway, there hasn't been a requirement for parking, except maybe for employees. And I think that's when the Board of Trustees looked at where your employees will park. And that's part of the application. Let me see what else. I'm a little curious about whether the wood burning kitchen is acceptable from fire code. My husband was a partner in the ownership of that building at one point, and in that stage, we weren't allowed to put any kitchens in. So I kind of want to know how that's going to work. And I suggest that, it sounds like a great plan for the property, but the intensity of that whole building use needs to be looked at. And I kind of side with Mr. Wise in terms of, taking a careful look at the intensity of use of those buildings along Main Street. Thank you. I may have some other suggestions, but I'm listening now. Thank you.
So I do want to kind of remind people that before the trustees could consider the application, it required the variance to be granted first. So as far as procedure, I believe we are in the proper order.
Mhm. Are there any other people online that would like to speak? You must raise your hand if the board is to hear you. I have a couple that submitted earlier before it was open that I could read
Yeah.
and told them.
Yeah, please.
Julie Paulson, 6 Washington Avenue. I live directly behind Main Street and Mesner's. I am concerned about overflow of parking, all landing on my street, Washington Avenue, with late night patrons who have been drinking or will be taking up our street parking. I am also concerned about parking noise of patrons who have been drinking and trash disposal, bottle noise behind my house with a bar of this many occupying. I do not like that this proposal has been altered and changed from its original paperwork, and we're all confused. It should be resubmitted properly. And that was it. For her. I do have another comment that I'm waiting for a name and address. Julie, I'll give her a note. She hears me talking now, but she can't get her mic on. I would like to know about impact on air quality from constant wood burning day and night. Julie, do you want to try to speak? You do have an opportunity now.
Yes. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't get the invite until now. So yes, I appreciate the time everybody is putting into the meeting and the clarity on so many specifics. Obviously, I live right behind where this establishment is being proposed. And I will tell you that on my street, it has been on Washington Avenue, a massive parking problem, even before a proposal of this bar that I've had to reach out to the village on. We have no parking spots ever available. It is like Grand Central Station, cars speeding down the road, no parking spots ever available. And as much as I support new business in the village and the restaurant and the chef from the country club sound very nice, there's aspects of why we live in this village and tree-lined streets, from a noise, from a safety. Now I'm going to have bar patrons who are drinking and parking on my street. There's so many ramifications to this proposal. I'm concerned about air quality. I have an autoimmune disease and I have respiratory issues. And if there's a wood burning stove, half a block away burning, I have problems with neighbors 3 doors down lighting fireplaces. And there's just so many aspects of this that are concerning to me. And I feel like maybe it's my misunderstanding because I've never participated in a meeting like this, but there's like so many nuances that are being altered, changed, edited from the original proposal, it sounded like to me. Um, I cannot have my house be a parking lot indirectly in front for a bar. I mean, it's highly concerning to me for safety, for noise, for the trash dumpster noise in the back, for people in the parking lot that will congregate before and after. I just hope there's a heightened sensitivity as all my neighbors are incredibly concerned about this. And it's not that I don't favor new business or progress in this village, because I certainly do, but I can't figure out where these parking spots are going to come from other than like a potato field. Like it.
No. Thank you, Julie, for your comments. I would just remind people that this is about parking and not other considerations that are kind of beyond this application. That's something that the trustees will take up. I'm sure, lots to think about, but right now our concern is with a parking variance. So, but save your comments. Right. Anyone else?
Yeah, we have 2 more people, and just reminding everyone has 3 minutes to speak. I am keeping track. Kathleen, Karen, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for allowing us to participate tonight. Maybe after the very last comment of we should save our questions for the trustees. My comments may not.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you would just identify yourself with your name and address.
Oh, it's Kathleen Karen, and 21 Monroe Avenue.
Thanks.
So the one, the one thing I worked at Chandeliers, and the parking that you're talking about on Monroe, yes, there are supposedly 1 or 2 spots there, maybe 3. No one has ever parked there, even when we worked there, because there would be numerous accidents. That's a turning lane. And so those spaces are really not valid spaces. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on that, but you realize there's a right-hand turn, a left-hand turn, and then you're straight forward. And with the amount of traffic that we have on Monroe Avenue, no one, if you had 2 or 3 cars parked there on the side, it would be a nightmare. My other comment is, why are we having another pizza bar in our village? We have so many bars. It just generates more and more traffic. That's not necessary.
Right. No, thank you for that. And again, that would be an appropriate comment to bring up when the trustees consider this application. That is beyond our purview tonight.
And the other thing that I wanted to mention is I'm 90% sure we did not have a variance for 10 spots for Chandeliers.
Oh, right. Wasn't a variance. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Corby, would you like to speak? You have to unmute.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay.
Yes.
Robert Corby, 7 Washington Avenue. One problem right now, one challenge is that in the past, when we had full occupancy in the village's central business district, there was enforcement, and there was what is called a radial parking plan, where employees were encouraged to park around the perimeter, freeing up high turnover spaces in the center of the village. One of the problems is the current administration's mismanagement of the New York State Department of Transportation striping plan resulted in the loss of half of the on-street parking along South Main Street. And that's significant because in the past, that's where employees park, and that parking has disappeared. So I kind of agree with one of the other speakers. Maybe we're getting the cart before the horse. Because when I was mayor, we worked with the owners of Breathe to make sure that that space was available and well managed. But I'm concerned because there's been an increase of a bar, Fatouche, and now this pizza place on South Main Street. And I don't think there's been any real comprehensive study of what parking is actually available and where are these employees going to park. I mean, I know the employees do park in the municipal lot, and that's something that's going to have to be managed if a business like this is actually going to succeed. So I think, some of these issues really need to be tackled, or we're going to create a hardship for some of the existing businesses on the street. Thank you. Oh, also, I agree with Julie Paulison's questions. I'm concerned about the hours of operation. If the parking, I don't know what the hours are proposed for this business, but in the past, when there have been businesses that served alcohol on Main Street, my neighborhood suffered the consequences of late night activity. And for many of us that work early in the morning, that's a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
There are still people online, but no other hands at the moment. Yes.
Going once? Yeah. I just want to give people one more opportunity. So if there are no comments, I'd like to move to close the public hearing.
Before, I just wanted to make a statement that we did not receive any to the clerk prior to the meeting for the minutes, but I'll make sure that I say that. No public comments.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, second to that motion?
Second,
Member Shane, was that you?
yes.
Member Vanderswag?
Aye.
Member Powers?
Aye.
Member Shannon?
Aye.
Member Loda?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. I have a question for you, Mindy.
Sure.
Since the so this all comes down to numbers and the number of parking spaces. And since that has changed substantially from what was before us, I'd like to know, and also board members, if this could be resubmitted with the proper amendments, and that we meet in a week. Is that a possibility?
I think that if the board wants to do that, it's well within your purview. I think a cleaner application would certainly make for a better record.
A better record, and I'm also responding, to kind of our own need to work through new numbers, and obviously members of the public also. And so I think it's, I don't see the need to wait, another month. So I would suggest a special meeting if the other board members would be amenable to that. Then the public can have a look, and we can have a look at an amended a clean application. What do my fellow board members think about that?
I'm not available next Wednesday evening.
We could make could find an evening, right?
If we motion to table tonight, do we need to choose the date? Because it might be nice to poll so that we have a full board when you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm also.
You don't need
right.
to choose the new date.
Okay.
If you decide to table it.
Oh, okay.
For receipt of a an amended application that
Mhm.
accurately reflects the relief that's being requested, because there was a good amount of confusion about that.
Yeah.
So we won't choose a date yet, but it sounds, I'll wait for you guys to motion what you'd like to do.
So would you be open to the possibility of tabling it in another meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But should you say we don't choose a date, like give it a deadline of like within the next?
Well, before,
All
you know,
to the next month if it
Right.
didn't happen.
Well, that's what I said, so I don't think that's fair to the applicant. I mean, like,
Well,
I mean.
I
so-
think it also depends on how quickly they can get us the revised submittal.
right.
Okay, let's take it Wednesday.
So if we,
I was trying to think the day, so like by next, meet by,
by the end of next week,
Or
for the new application and we will discuss when we could meet.
we'll have it to you before then, but that's fine. If you want to make a motion, that that's the date. We'll just
Does
make
that
sure.
require a motion?
No,
Yeah.
my suggestion would be just move to table and use your best efforts to find the earliest possible date.
Right.
But I think it would be
Okay.
improvident to try to, put a pin date on it.
that's what I was saying, and
Okay.
a
Yeah.
date,
I would appreciate that.
like by next Friday, we would meet, if that, or if that's not.
I
Maybe, I don't know.
would suggest that you just
Table it.
table it and express your interest in a special meeting in the
Mhm.
earliest possible
Oh,
date. But
okay.
I don't
Okay,
think you're
good.
really in a position to do that tonight,
Okay,
because it's not just your time, it's the applicant's time. The room might not be available when everybody is free, so
There's some
a
moving.
lot of moving
pieces.
parts here.
It does not require a re-notice, just a
Right.
meeting notice, which
Right.
is nice.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I will move to table it until, and we will try to move this along as expediently as possible. And we'll let you know right away when we make that decision. Any second for that?
there's a second.
Table until a tentative special meeting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, sorry.
this will probably delay the board, the trustees. their-
I want to reiterate what Susan said.
Mhm.
This application has not been submitted to the trustees. It's not been deferred. It's just been removed from their agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is again,
But it will,
a timeline for that.
it will
Yeah.
affect their timeline ultimately as it goes through the process, but yes,
It could,
yes.
Yeah.
not necessarily,
They don't have a timeline, I guess what I wanted to say, because
Okay.
it's not on their agenda right now.
Okay.
right.
Member Powers to table till
Aye.
the meeting, thank you. Member Vanderswijk.
Aye.
Member Shannon.
Aye.
Member Loda,
I,
motion passes.
okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the movie. You do application next week and I'll put it out of office to CC you with full sign and zoning stuff, so just make sure I just, okay, just make sure you include, yeah, I read that.
You get it back and then. like, we'll- It's still available.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. we'll-
Back of email anyway.
We close the meeting or not close?
Thank you
We
all.
need to move to close the meeting. Close this meeting.
We have to close the
I think
meeting.
we have.
I think we have minutes, we have minutes to review.
Yeah. Right,
There's
Yeah.
minutes to-
Thank you.
yeah, let's look at minutes. Minutes,
We still have more things.
Okay, Alexander, you have a hard.
There's minutes, yeah.
right,
The hard.
Oh my gosh, I sure do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't see the minutes in the packet.
They were online. I mean, I didn't pick up.
From the
copy. I
January 7th,
looked at it online, so.
Mindy. From
I
January
feel I
7th.
saw them online. I just didn't.
I tried the minutes for this board are never gonna be online in draft form,
Right.
so if you don't see them, or. You contact me, but I, paper copy.
Thank you. All right, here we are.
what?
We heard the last.
We're live.
We're the last,
We are live.
all right, so we're doing the meeting summary. Meeting minute.
Yeah, all we did was pass meeting minute, and resolutions.
Somewhere.
I wasn't at that meeting, so.
Yeah.
You can abstain from it.
Okay.
Thank you. If there are enough people to pass.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I wasn't at it.
Thank you.
There is.
A form? Yeah. Just curious, do you have any idea of, are there counts of how many people look at the video of our meetings?
Yeah. You could, it's on YouTube. You can see how many views there are, and they're the same views that we see on the admin portal of it.
Do you have like a ballpark that usually is for us?
Susan, I never look at that.
Okay, no, that's okay. I just want to.
Yeah, I don't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Once I posted it,
Being here is not the one.
You're good, you're good.
our YouTube page though, so when I send that AI recap, the hyperlink is to YouTube. You can always look there.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Well, I have nothing
I have
to
nothing.
add or subtract from these.
Nope.
Yeah. So I move that these be accepted as presented to us tonight.
Second.
Member Vandersloot,
Hi.
Member Powers.
Oh, actually, you spelled my name.
Abstain.
Sorry.
Way. This time, I will fix that. I,
It says Catherine and it's Kathleen.
yes, I thought I fixed all the Catherines, because that's been happening. the
I know.
last 2 years. I'm sorry.
It's okay, so but she can fix that and we can approve it like that, so that's fine.
As amended.
Yes, as amended.
Spell checked.
Member Powers, you were gonna.
Abstain,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I wasn't at the meeting.
Member Shannon,
I.
member Loda,
Aye.
motion passes.
Great. So I'm going to move that we close the meeting. We do have one more topic. Is that right?
That usually is a member item, so we would do it before the meeting. Just in case Jared comes back and listens to this.
All right.
We will be moving forward with our in-person trainings, with Erica Elliott, which is exciting.
That's good.
Her office has the full schedule that we presented with the 1 hour before, on those designated dates. There was a conflict for this date, but she is definitely willing to reschedule and look at another date. I did them every other month just to not overwhelm everyone, but the goal was to at least get half of the hours, 4 hours in by September, because that's when I stopped counting them, so it's every October to the following September. So I'm gonna look at some more dates, and I just wanna let you know now to look out for that, after I get to
So
talk to
you'll
Erica.
let us know when those training dates are.
The training dates are already set, and on the calendar I gave you guys, maybe in December, it was only February 4th that is adjusted. And we need to move the training we're gonna have today that's on that calendar to another day.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I can resend it to you because it's not on the website. It's a board.
Yeah,
abbreviated.
I remember, I thought I entered them into my calendar, but yeah, maybe at some point, if you send it to me again, I'll make sure I got them all. I know we have like another, like a pre-meeting or something next week.
Yeah, we can talk about those two offline. Yes. Okay, that's all I got, that's the number items, if anyone.
Right, so I move to close tonight's meeting.
Second.
Member Shannon,
I.
member Powers,
Aye.
member Vandersloot.
Aye.
Member Loda, motion passes.
Did I yes, found anything?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.